strike her again?
I hit one more time, as she was falling.
I have no idea what was going through these prisoners' heads when they committed the atrocities. Do some people have different wiring in their brains than others? What gives these criminals the ability to commit such heinous acts? So in this video, we are going to discuss top 3 teens in court reacting to life sentences. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Number 3. Philip Chisholm accused of murdering teacher. The case of the murder of Danvers High School teacher Colleen Ritzer came to a gut-wrenching close in February when Philip Chisholm was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. Ritzer, an Andover native, was in her second year of teaching at the high school when Chisholm, then 14, raped, robbed, and murdered her on October 22, 2013. On the first-degree murder conviction, Salem Superior Court Judge David Lowy sentenced Chisholm to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 25 years. He received 40-year concurrent sentences on rape and robbery charges. The trio of sentences handed down means Chisholm must serve at least 40 years in prison, and he received 857 days credit for the time he's already served. Judge David Lowy was forced to allow for that possibility due to a state Supreme Judicial Court ruling. 2 months after Ritzer's murder, that juveniles convicted of first-degree murder must be granted a meaningful chance at parole. The Ritzers denounced the sentence as unacceptable, calling the SJC's decision a betrayal to all victims and their families. We are devastated and feel betrayed with Judge Lowy's inability to give 3 consecutive life sentences without the eligibility of parole to the individual that took Colleen's life in such a horrific manner, the family said in a statement issued after the verdict was handed down. Number 2. David Moses. 2 of 3 defendants were found guilty of murder Wednesday in the brutal beating death of an 81-year-old woman in her own home, the verdicts leaving many in the audience and even much of the jury in tears. Not only did the jury find David Moses and Katila Nash guilty of first-degree murder, but they also found the special circumstance of a murder committed during a burglary to be true. Moses faces a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole, and Katila Nash faces 25 years to life. Both are scheduled to be sentenced on October 25. We're elated, prosecutor David Wilson said of the convictions. This is a long time coming. Dorothy Session didn't need to die that day. Mr. Moses received the punishment he deserved after the judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. Moses showed no reaction as his verdict was read. Deputy Public Defender Jano Matteo said Moses is saddened by the verdict but understands it was the jury's decision. "It's not always what you want to hear," Matteo said of his own reaction, "but I'm understanding and respectful of the jury's verdict." Number 1. A teenager murdered his great-grandmother.
Did you strike her again?
I hit one more time, as she was falling.
A 14-year-old boy was sentenced Monday to life in prison with a chance at parole at age 50 in the hatchet killing of his great-grandmother in Sheboygan Falls. Antonio Barbeau had pleaded no contest to first-degree intentional homicide in the September 2012 death of Barbara Olson, 78. Barbeau didn't act alone. He had another 13-year-old boy. After taking the life of the grandmother, they stole her cash, ordered pizza, and bought weed. Both Barbeau and his accomplice were sentenced to life, and they won't be eligible for parole until they are 50 years old. When journalists asked Barbara's attorney if he was genuinely remorseful for what he did, he said, "Yes, he is. I don't doubt that." But as some family members asked the judge to reduce the parole eligibility to 25 years, others insisted to journalists that even if you won't necessarily go out when he's 50, he will still have to prove he's worthy of becoming a member of society. During his sentencing, Barbeau broke into tears while addressing the judge, saying, "I know that I don't show my emotions much," but he also appeared, shaking his head with a smile when the prosecutor started speaking. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.